You're the president of Fox 2000. Can you tell us why the studio needed to get behind this project?
Well, we're honored to be the studio that this wonderful team of producers and George as a director and Amanda all brought this wonderful book to us before it was published. And it was just a story that we felt needed to be told, and the right people were attached to the project to tell the story. So for us, it was pretty much of an instant decision that we wanted to do it. And I think we have had a marvelous journey watching it come to life, and we're all so proud of it. So thank you for that amazing reception from my hometown of Santa Barbara.
And it still continues because I was telling Elizabeth and George Tillman Jr. that I was reading the box office receipts for today, and the film, people are embracing this film and flocking to it deservedly.
Yeah, we're really proud. It seems to be touching people of all ages, and hopefully it'll make a difference and let people learn to use their voices too in the world.
Marty, you've produced, he produced the Twilight series. You've dealt with young adult, books, but this is something completely, different. It not only appeals to young people, it has a universal appeal. It has social justice issues, racism. Can you tell us about your passion for the project?
Well, I'm not the obvious reader for young adult books on the surface, but anything that is worth doing, usually there's something sticky about it, whether you're 16 or 36, which is how old I am, that makes it something compelling to you. And in particular for me, this story, as a father of 3, I really found myself drawn to Maverick Carter and the effort he put into trying to be the best father he could for his children. I just think that's universal, and it really stuck with me.
And Bob, the choice of George Tillman Jr., tell us about hiring him.
Well, it really wasn't a choice because we've been partners for about 30 years. So we kind of came on the project together. We read the book like Marty did at the same time, a year prior to it coming out. So we were obviously, like Marty was, we were just completely passionate about it. And it was all about, I was kind of curious to see how the book was going to be received, because being labeled a YA novel, you never know if this kind of subject matter is going to connect. When the book came out in February 2017, it shot to #1 and stayed there for 7 weeks. So it was a great experience.
Yeah, but it's been a bestseller now. It's been #1. I think we're on 86 weeks now. Yeah, in hardcover. Yeah.
And George, your connection to the subject.
Yeah, I just really love the ideal of Star, because the book started off with her in a party where she goes in and sees Khalil. And I just love her voiceover in that first passage in the book where she says, "It's not enough to be myself." And I like the ideal of the identification, her navigating between these two worlds, that she was really good at it until Khalil's death, and then she was forced to look at herself. So that strong through line just really felt like something fresh that I haven't seen in a film before. And I felt like it was relevant, of course, with police brutality, but I thought it had a very strong personal story in terms of finding your voice and navigating and code switching, as we call it, and how her family is instrumental in that. So I was able to connect in that way.
You capture something on film that I'll never forget is the ritual of the talk, and you open the film pretty closely with that. Can you tell us about that aspect?
Yeah, that's a very emotional thing, because I had to talk when I was like 9, 10 years old from my father, but various uncles and relatives that came out of the 1968 riots, MLK riots. So they were, in their relationship between the police force and the family was very connected to me. So this is something that I know in most communities, outside of our cultures, the talk is the birds and the bees. But in an African-American community is that and more. So I know that was a very emotional thing. So what we wanted to do very early on was, from the book, Audrey Wells, the first writer, actually moved that up in the first scene. She asked me what I thought about it, and then she asked me if I had to talk, and I said, yeah, this is very important. So she moved it up front that I think that set the tone. And it set the tone for us in rehearsals because, Star, at her age, would not be in that scene because that scene is done with Regina and Russell with the young kids. But what we were able to do in the rehearsals was we rehearsed that scene with these guys so they can have it for the rest of the movie, and that the young kids would hear it for the first time, which is the motion that you see on screen. So for us, every time when we did rehearse it, it was always emotional for Regina and for Russell, who plays Mav, because it's something that we have in our communities that's very important.